Good morning. Hi, hello. Well, it's not even morning, it's afternoon. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Dee. Welcome to Dee's Life Vlog. So happy to see you guys. Let's get into the video. So, hello. I am overtly exhausted. I had a breakdown last night because of exhaustion, just purely exhaustion. And I have not recovered from that yet. So, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I can't do this right now, but I need to film this video. I had already planned a video, I had already made a video that was supposed to go up for this upload day, but I ended up scratching that because I just hated it. I just didn't really like the video, and I hadn't even like started editing on it yet, so I just deleted it. It was kind of like a recap of like my degree and then my first week at college. You guys didn't want to really care about that. If you do care, I'll upload a similar video, or it's probably still in my drafts, not my drafts, but like in my deleted like folder, a recently deleted folder, so I just probably won't delete it quite yet. But hello, good morning, again, good afternoon. I have my coffee here, I've had my breakfast, I had my vitamins, I've washed my face, I brushed my teeth, I've made myself get the fuck up. I didn't like get to sleep last night until after 5 a.m. and then my alarm went off to upload a vlog, a Sunday vlog, and it woke me up, and then I was awake, but I didn't have any vlog to upload because vlogs go up bi-weekly, and last week's vlog already went up. I am vlogging for you guys next week. I'm kind of excited because it's the last week of January next week. A lot has been going on. Life is horrible. Everything is down the drain. The world is ending. Blah. But yeah. Hi. So this video is going to be a my kind of like entertainment wrap up for January 2025. And also we're going to finish a book today. I'm so excited to finish this fucking book because I want it to be over. I really want it to be over. I have good coffee. It's just coffee, and then I did almond milk oat milk creamer, no, vanilla oat milk creamer, lavender syrup, and some honey. Shook it up, poured it on top. Delicious. But no, I am going to read this book with you because I have to finish it, because I really want to finish it, just because I want to be done with it. I have literally this much left. This is how much I have left, so I can easily bang this out in like what, 30 minutes. So after I talk to you guys about all of our other stuff, we'll probably go in, read the last bits of this book, and then be done with this motherfucker, so I can give it back to my mother and force her to read it. But she probably won't. She probably will not even dare to read this shit. She's also read another book by this author, and she fucking hated it too. So this is actually Ace of Spades by Farida Abike. I don't know how to say her last name. Black writer, black book characters. Because if you're new here, then you don't know that I only read books by black authors. Like black authors, and well, not black authors, but black female main characters is like my focus. And usually I read romance, but I picked this book up for my mom specifically because I was when I was at her house for the holidays, I got bored, and I was like, I don't have anything to do, so I started reading this book. Literally, I took it with me to my hair appointment and read through 7 chapters during my hair appointment, then like watched a podcast for the rest of my hair appointment. Hair appointment took like 6-ish hours usually. It's usually the time frame, especially because I only do my hair to here. I can't do long hair. I've done it before. It annoyed the fuck out of me. But I keep my hair pretty short. I keep my braids pretty short and my hair even shorter. So my braiding time usually is like 6 hours minimum. But that's just how it is. But yeah. Sorry, my roommate, she comes out of her room and you can really fucking hear her. So nothing on her, but like our like, there's a vent above my door, so you can really hear when people enter and exit the apartments, and it's fucking loud as hell. But no, I usually take like 6 hours to get my braids done. So for the first like hour and a half or so, I read through this book, and I was already kind of sitting there like then I just watched a podcast, and then I just listened to like 2 different podcasts, and then watched a video while she was doing my hair, and then we finished up, ran, left. So there's that. But we're gonna finish this book today. I'm not excited to finish this book. I already hate this motherfucker. It's already at a 2-star read for me. And again, I literally only have like 4 chapters left. I wouldn't recommend this book already. Like, we'll get into why I absolutely despise this book. We'll even do like a spoiler-free version and a spoiler version, but I can't stand the rest of this motherfucking book. So we'll leave that to the end of the video just so I can do spoiler-free, and then you can leave the video if you don't want any spoilers and if you want to suffer through it yourself. And then we'll do a spoiler version where I can tell you all the reasons why this book can jump cliffs for all I care. But no, I have been very active this week, this month, with the things that I watch. Not too active, but I'm way more active than I usually am when it comes to media that I'm consuming, which is kind of crazy because I have fallen off on like in consuming any form of media in the past few months, and it's just been a lot. Usually I am sitting there, I've got 3 different shows that I'm watching all at the same time, so whenever I get bored with one, I can go pick up the other one. I have a subscription to iQIYI, Viki, Netflix, not Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime Video, fucking HBO Max, and so I have shows that I usually am like consuming big time, shows and movies. Like, if I would have done this video back in November, like if I would have done like a media consumption breakdown back in November, I went to go see 2 movies with one of my friends, and it was awesome. We sat there, we just watched a movie together. We went twice because we ended up doing the matinee. I can't remember when we watched the first time. We went and watched Venom 3 in November when it came out, and we ended up getting like Regal Cinema like accounts, and they do really good memberships, and so you get points whenever you go, and then you get points from off your drink and things like that. And so we just went back and forth and so we watched that, and then in December we watched Red One, and it was good. We had a fun time. It was awesome. And like right now she doesn't live here, so I can't really invite her to go see Love Hurts with me in February because I want to go see it so bad. I saw it when we were in Venom 3, the commercial for it, the trailer for it when we were in Venom 3, and I really want to go see it. And then I also really want to go see it just because I like a violent movie. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like a fighting movie. I love a little violence in a movie, which is going to bring us to my TV shows and movies that I've watched already this month. So I only watched 1 movie this month, and then I watched 2 TV shows. I'm on a 3rd currently, but I'm probably not going to finish that show January. Keep in mind, the show that I started that I'm currently watching, I started that back in like November, and it's just been taking me a while to get through it. Not because it's bad, it's a great show and I love it. I'm like, God, I love that show, but like, it's just, you would think that it's just like because it's long, it's just because I get bored really easily, and so I like switch my attention. So, and because I like this show so much, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll go like look at edits on like social media and stuff like that, because that's how you know I love a show. If I'm like looking up edits and shit, that's how you know I love a show. Oh my god. But so I only watched 1 movie. I watched Alvin and the Chipmunks, the road trip movie. I was watching it with my little brother, so I was watching that and I included it in like my media section. I didn't put a review on it or anything, but I'll be putting the reviews of stuff like I put over here, the things I've already done, and then we'll do a review together over that book. But I was really kind of like, it's just a little cute movie. It's nothing crazy. It was really simple. It was nice. It was fun. It was cute. But we did watch the last Alvin and Chipmunks movie as a family, and then I got back to Gainesville, and I started a show that my friend, I thought she recommended me this. See, I'm mentally ill, so I have friends that I watch their Instagram stories, and like I love their Instagram stories and stuff like that, and I ask them about stuff. I'm stupid, and I thought that she had posted the show called When the Phone Rings, but she had actually posted Mr. Plankton, which I'm not watching Mr. Plankton. You can't make me do it. There's nothing about Mr. Plankton that even interests me. When the Phone Ring kind of interested me, and it was pretty good when I started watching it. But then, of course, if you don't know the controversy, When the Phone Rings had like great episodes up until episode 12. These episodes are like an hour and 15 minutes long, by the way. It's on Netflix. I don't recommend it now, but last effing episode, it completely derailed itself. Need coffee. It completely derailed itself. It's a politics-based movie, quote unquote, but up until this point it had not had much politics in it. So at the end, the last episode, it went far right political views, last episode, this is a K-drama, by the way, and it just went off the fucking rail. Somehow we ended up in Africa. Then we were talking about Gaza and Palestine under 2 different fucking names. It ruined the show for most people. Like, it was like a good show up until that point, and everyone was fine with watching it, but then it decided to do some bullshit, and so here we are. No one liked it. I gave it a 2-star because up until that last episode it was great, but then like the last episode absolutely made no fucking sense. Like, I couldn't even finish the last episode because I was like, where does this fall in line at? How does this, what the fuck? Like, how we even got to that point has nothing to do with the fucking show. The only part that you're like, oh, that kind of has something to do with the show is when the show starts out and she's looking for her husband and he's made her a school in Africa. He's had a school erected in Africa that teaches sign language in her name, and I'm like, okay. Anything else? Or is there any other information? Anything else? No. Well, damn. Okay then. So no reason. Honestly, it just pissed me off. I was exhausted over it, so I just stopped watching it. Then I was honestly just chilling. I was going back to just scrolling and looking and stuff like that. I was trying to find a new show to watch. I was trying to find a new show to watch on Viki. And one thing about me is I love a Chinese drama. Give me a C drama. Okay, I love a C drama. And I had looked at one and I had started watching 2 dramas. I had started watching The Scout, and then I started watching something else. Can't even remember the name to it at this point. The Scout is a K-drama and you can get it on Viki as well, I think. And I had started watching it, but I just couldn't finish it. It just didn't interest me. I wish it did, but it didn't. And instead I didn't continue my other show that I was watching simply because the fact that I thought I had to have my iQIYI subscription to watch it. Didn't need to have it until which I learned later, because my iQIYI subscription accidentally got renewed. I was trying to help my mom with something, and it my Apple account just accidentally renewed my iQIYI account. So I was like, oh, well, I paid for that. That's money out of my pocket that I was not expecting, but okay. So I have a new month subscription to my iQIYI account, and so I'm going to probably watch more iQIYI TV shows because I do love them. I do like watching my shows on iQIYI, and right now there's a lot of BLs out currently. But I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw an edit of a show that I've had my eye on called Spiral. Now, I had looked it up when it first started to come out back last year, like early last year, like what, maybe June, maybe July last year, maybe May, but early last year a new show had come out and it was called Spiral. That's when I found out about it. I went to go look it up to see if I could find it on any of my apps, and I tried to look it up on YouTube because there are ever so often there are TV shows that you can just find the translated versions just on YouTube for free, and then other times you need to have like an iQIYI subscription or a Viki subscription. And I have a year-long Viki subscription that should renew again in August of this year. So I was like, oh, let me just watch this edit, enjoy the edit. Then I went to the comments to see if anyone had anywhere that they watched it, and I finally found a comment that said it's on Viki, which when I looked it up, I couldn't find it on Viki when I first looked it up, but I found it on iQIYI, and iQIYI has been on this coming soon for the past few months, okay? Like I said, it's been on coming soon for forever. So when someone said they found it on Viki, I went and took my ass to Viki, found it, and when I watched it, I did, and it was everything I wanted it to be. So, The Spy Realm. It is a Chinese TV show that you can find on Viki Rakuten. It's an app that you can just download from the App Store, or you can go to the actual website. And you can also have it on your smart TV as well. I have mine on my Fire Stick. And you can get this, you'll have to get a subscription to be able to watch it, but it's a good fucking show. So I 10 out of 10 would recommend you do watch it. But The Spy Realm is about this guy who he ends up going into a virtual reality game, quote unquote, called The Spy Realm. In the game, you kind of enter through a door, and each door, and as you enter through this door, you're surrounded by like 12 other doors. This is just the representation of the 12 levels, okay? Levels are all different, kind of like every level that you need to go into, they kind of like, there are different difficulty levels. Levels 1 through 5, the difficulty level lightly increases as you go from level to level. At levels 6 through 12, it just starts increasing ridiculous amounts. The difficulty level just starts going fucking ridiculous every other level. So like, you're like, what the fuck? But if you enter a door, you are now stuck in the game. Now, if you really like Ready Player One, or if you're an anime kid and you really like Sword Art Online, then you probably know the idea of being stuck in a virtual reality game and then dying in game and then dying in real life. Same premise. They're stuck in the game per level. So if you finish the level, you can leave the game, but you have to come back. You don't really have a choice. But if you die in the game, you die in real life. And this one is kind of crazy because in the usually in virtual reality shows that you're kind of get stuck in and you die in game and you immediately die in real life. Spy Realm, they wait for everyone to come out of the door, and you got like a 10-15 minutes between when you've died in game before you actually die in real life. And usually it's like, oh, you have a heart attack, or oh, you have like your brain stops working, da da da. In Spy Realm, though, the universe will cause accidents to kill you. Like, literally, it'll cause an accident. Like, oh, you think you're fine. 10-15 minutes later, you get hit by a car, you die. 10-15 minutes later, something falls on you, you die. You have a random heart attack. You slip and fall down. You die in the most random ways, okay? But our main character, plays this virtual reality video game not knowing that this was going to happen to him. And he actually just walks through a door, which is how you enter the levels, is you walk through a real world door into like the main area into the game, and then you have to go into your level. Now there are 12 levels. You have to beat the levels, you need to find the key to leave the actual game, like the key to leave your door in game. Here's the problem. Every level has what they call a taboo, and it's whatever the door ghost or the creature who protects the door, whatever they tell you not to do, don't do it, or you will die. And they have every right to kill you if you breach these taboos or these rules. Like, the taboo could be something as simple as fuck. It's one of the simplest things. Like, there's one level where your taboo is don't get rainwater on you. Don't get touched by rainwater. Is it raining every day? Yes. Either take an umbrella or walk on under the coverings, and the rain can start randomly. And as soon as you get touched by rain, oh, you dead. The game has every right to kill you. And it may take a minute before it can kill you too. It could take a second to kill you. It could wait till the nighttime when everyone's sleeping to lure you out and kill you. Or it'll come to you in the night, or it'll kill you immediately. It just depends. Either way, you just got that. I'm so sorry. I apologize, but like, you just have to die. But it's a good show. Anyways, it's a good show. It's a great show. It's a horror show and horror thriller show, so it is a little scary, spooky, a little bit gory, but it is a censored show from China, so you can't really be afraid of the gore that much. But I do have to say, I would 10 out of 10 recommend it. As someone who's spooky, scary, an absolute, yeah, I still was kind of scared at some episodes. There's one episode that scared me called the Sako episode. It's a girl, she's missing one of her legs, she's jumping around, she can imitate your voice. Like, it's uncomfy. It's a little on the uncomfy side. A lot of these levels are really uncomfortable. But no, great show. 10 out of 10 recommend. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, just because the two of the deaths didn't really break me like that. I shed a tear. The other one, it was one death that I was really just breaking down over. It really hurt. It was the first death of the game, and I was like, ah. It's one of the first deaths of one of the main characters, and it was just like, ah. And then after that, it kind of got boring. But overall, it's a great show. 10 out of 10. I'm definitely going to leave it linked down below and leave it for you guys to go watch. Again, it's a little weird, a little creepy, a little scary. A lot of people removing their skin for levels, and a lot of these levels are based off of like real world, like stories, quote unquote real world stories, or little nursery rhymes or games or things like that. Or like legends, those two. That is also one of the ones. But no, it's really good. Like the only one that really weirded me out, made me uncomfy, was the episode that was a guy. He was jumping into different people, like the dead bodies. He was like he's jumping bodies. He's like a Russian doll kind of thing. Like when you open a Russian doll, you have like another doll inside. So he was like killing people and then burrowing his way into bodies to be able to wear them as like skin suits, and it was really uncomfortable, really uncomfy. There's a lot of little concerning moments with kids also. Nothing like super duper horrible. There's like an episode where they're there's a little bit of child trafficking, so that's uncomfy. Nothing too horrible, no CA, nothing like that. But it is uncomfy, not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and look you in the eye and like lie. This is not uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable scenes. So it's good though. It is really good. I'm not trying to scare you from it. It's just a lot in theory and in practice. Now the deaths do take a second and they do hit a little harder, and in these games you do have people that want to kill you in game. Like other people who are playing the same level as you. Usually that's what happens. You're not in a level by yourself. You've been sucked into the game with like randomized people. You have to complete every door that you go through, and you absolutely cannot leave the game at any moment until after the level is finished. In the game, in real world, the timing usually is only 15 minutes for that you leave and come back, but in game it goes over the course of like 7 days or so. The level usually goes over a course of 7 days, and if it gets to the 7-day mark, usually the level will just kill all the people that are inside the game and then restart itself until somebody beats it. And when you do beat a door, you unlock a door, you either kill the door ghost or you convince it to stop killing you. Then you usually get a clue to your next level. And you're usually able to take stuff from outside the game into the game and be able to use it in game too. So if you bring in a knife, you can use the knife in game. Or you bring in a pair of scissors, you can use scissors in game. If you bring in food, you can eat the food in game. So like it helps. But there are some levels that are, like I said, uncomfy. But what I found is that it's actually based off of a book called Kaleidoscope of Death, and the book and the TV show are different. Now I can understand why, because again, this is a Chinese TV show, and in Chinese media there is censorship. There's censorship about the queer relationship in the show. One of them is like not specifically trans, but one of them is like very cross-dresser kind of things like that, queer coded. So like there are 2 queer characters and one who is queer coded, and so you have that in game too, but they've been removed of course for censorship purposes, or their queerness has been removed for censorship purposes. Like you still have the characters and their actions, you just don't get any kissing or making out and things like that. So but you do have that inside the book. Now I watched it because people said it was good because it was up my alleys, but I have found the book translated from Chinese to English, and so I'll be reading that for the rest of the time. So anytime that I finish my books, I'll just be reading that, and I have it on my phone. I'll probably put the link to not only the translations that I found, but also to the Tumblr post that I found that showed that posted about it, about the where the translations, you can find them. Usually I have to be careful when I look for translations for certain like TV shows and books, because I do like a lot of Chinese dramas, and a lot of Chinese dramas that I have are based off of books, and there are translations. So I usually go to Tumblr to go find the translations to the books if I want to read them. What I used to do is to go and look it up on Wattpad, because they used to have them on Wattpad. There are like, I've read 4 translated Chinese dramas, Chinese books off of Wattpad, because the translations are just on Wattpad, which is fine by me. But they're good. I like a Chinese translated book, and it's one of my favorites. Favorite forms of media, Chinese drama. I will eat a Chinese drama up before I eat any other type of drama up. I have a full list of some of my favorite Chinese dramas, and I even remember my first one. Okay, it was the knockoff version of what is it? Oh my gosh, is it My Love from a Star? Is that what it is? But it was like they changed the like premise of it. Same TV show, just in Chinese, same premise. And that's how I started watching Chinese dramas, and I also remember my first K-drama too. But good show, 10 out of 10. So I'll be reading Kaleidoscope of Death, loved Spy Roms, and now it is officially time to get into reading this motherfucker. Oh yeah, by the way, Kaleidoscope of Death and Spy Realm are still basically the same thing, but it's excessively different. Because of censorship laws, it's not as gory, not as queer, and also they changed, in the TV show, you're in a virtual reality video game. In the book, these characters are on their last leg of death. So if you watched Alice in Borderlands, you know the premise of Alice in Borderlands. By the way, we're getting season 3, I'm so excited. And I will be watching that shit. We'll be eating it up every single time. Every single time I am an Alice in Borderlands fan. But if you know the premise of Alice in Borderlands, similar thing, like they're competing and doing these levels to be able to extend their life after they've been diagnosed with some type of illness. And so the person who ends up at the end of the game is a person that can quote unquote beat their illness and live. So that's the premise of Kaleidoscope of Death. And it's called Kaleidoscope of Death because every level is kind of leads back to these kaleidoscopes. You know how we know what a kaleidoscope is, of course. And so like every level has a kaleidoscope. It's the same in the TV show that you'll see every character in the level will have some form of kaleidoscope within their world. Great TV show. Its sets are beautiful. The first set is kind of questionable, and some of the effects are even more questionable. That first episode was questionable as fuck. And I really was looking at it like, but CGI got way better as the show went on. I'm going to go ahead and let you know now. CGI got better. Great acting. It was painful to watch. It's great though. I would tell to rewatch it because it's just that good. I may start forcing my friends to watch it with me. I do that. I like to torture my friends with the shows that I watch, but it's now time to torture myself with this, which I think is my payback for torturing people with my favorite TV shows that make them sad. Because I'm the type of person to sit there and make you watch Devilman Crybaby on purpose, and know the entire premise and know that you don't know it either. It really does make my day every time I make somebody watch the show with me. It gives Lord of the Flies bad. And I'm also the type of person that will make you watch Yang Master with me, and then I want you to cry horribly over the sad love story. Because I like tears. I like a bitch to cry. I like making my friends cry. It's one of the things in life that make me happy. So let's go finish this torture device and let's talk about it. Because if I could, I would burn this book, but I don't own it. My mother has this thing where she buys a bunch of books on eBay for really cheap, not knowing what's in the box, just that there's at least one book that she cares about. The rest of them she could care less about. She usually does this for Nicholas Sparks books. That's her favorite author, is Nicholas Sparks. So she got a random box with this in it, and then another one of this author's books, the one after this, because this I think is their debut novel. Yeah, debut novel. And she read that book. She fucking hated it too. So it's universal. Even though people all around the world say this one gets 5 stars, I will tell you why it doesn't. Now, let's read. Okay, I've already filmed this clip and I hated it. I hated everything. I was rambling and it was making me annoyed. But I finished Ace of Spades. If I have less energy, just know that again, I really already did this and I did it for like 30 minutes and I hated it. But finished Ace of Spades. Again, can't really say the writer's name, but I'm going to put the picture of the book and I'm also going to put her name on the screen because I can't understand it. But Ace of Spades, a book about two black students that go to a private school called Nivus, and there is something or someone called Aces targeting them and kind of revealing all of their deepest, darkest secrets. So you have two main characters, you have Devon and Shamika. I can't really say her name, so I'm just gonna call her Chi, and they are being targeted by this entity named Aces. Again, they're the only two black students in the school, so if you want to read it, that is the spoiler-free version of of this book. But now for the spoilers onto why I hate this book. So I'm giving this book a 2 stars, 2.5 stars. I said 2.5. I was only gonna do 2, but overall she ended up killing the evil characters in the book. So I will give the extra half star because good writing. That half star is, if I give a book 2 stars, I'm usually critiquing the writing because like the first 2 stars are usually writing based. The next star is usually going to be how it ended, and then the next star is going to be, the next few stars are going to be like, what did I like about this book? Did it make sense? Did I actually enjoy sitting there reading it? The answer is no. So it only gets 2.5 stars, and it gets 2 stars for the writing and then the ending of murder. Because if you have a villain character, I enjoy killing a villain, and yes, I have on a Batman shirt and I'm a Batman fan and I appreciate him and his no kill rule, but at the end of the day, in that motherfucker. But as a psychologist, I love Batman for his determination to reform. I believe in the death penalty. Anyways, the Ace of Spades book. I deeply hate this book. So this book is written by a British author, well, a African author who lived in Britain, went to school in Scotland. I'm gonna say it again. Lived in Britain, not black writer, went to school in Britain, went to college in Scotland. The book is set in America. Have they ever been? No. I don't like this book specifically of the disconnect of black culture versus in America that doesn't really get a great representation. Again, there's only 2 black students in the school, and the reasoning for that is because the school that they go to only admits 2 black students every 10 years, and it's specifically 2. Now, they do this simply because they are trying to commit social eugenics. Okay, and they're trying to commit social eugenics, trying to get rid of all the black people within like the upper class and things like that. And I'm going to premise this by saying there is no other culture in this book. There's no other race in this book. You are either black or you are white, or you are rich or you are poor. Usually the black people are poor. There's only one singular rich family in this entire quote-unquote neighborhood, which by the way, you don't know where we are. I don't know where we are. I looked in this book, and usually they would like say it like 3 different times. It's this fantasy area where it's this school in the middle of like where the ghetto is versus where the rich area is, and there's no specification of where we are. It's supposed to be like, if you've ever seen a Batman movie and you've seen like Crime Alley of Gotham, then that's kind of what the ghetto is like. And then like Wayne Manor like several Wayne Manors, just paint them white on the other side. Like, it's just, that's what they set the story up as, and it's so weird. It's a very odd book, and we're only go between those 2 neighborhoods, and we don't even go into Chi's neighborhood like that. We go into like just her house, and it's so interesting. It's a very interesting book, very set very weird. The conversations about blackness in this book are interesting, and the conversations about whiteness in the book are very interesting. So let me introduce you to our characters. Chi is a black girl. She's black. She's actually Nigerian and Italian mix. So she's not American black. She's African. She's African and white mixed, and I feel like I wanted to take that specifically because there's a difference in an understanding of American Black culture versus African culture. And I'm not trying to make a huge disconnect, but there is a difference in the way that we do things in our community, that we put ourselves in the way that we see ourselves. And as someone who is completely Black, I don't ever refer to myself as African American because I just deeply feel that although I am of African descent, and trust me, I know where I'm from. I've already done like a 23andMe, and when I tell you my blood is like a mixture of 10 million things, I just categorize myself as Black. Because if I were not to categorize myself, if I were to categorize myself as African, it'd be kind of crazy, seeing as there's also Malaysian, Irish, a little bit of Indian. Black people, the culture of America and for Black Americans is so mixed and things like that. I kind of just like boil it down to a difference in Black culture versus a difference in African culture. And so you have Chi, who she is mixed. Her dad's Italian, her mom is Nigerian, and you don't know much about her family because her dad is Italian, but they do, if you don't know, it's a very known fact that Italians don't like Black people of any kind, and so her dad's family is very racist, so she never sees them. And then her mom doesn't talk about her Nigerian family ever. She just knows that she's Nigerian. She talks of her family and like the idea of her family. She's never met them. She doesn't know much about them, doesn't even know their names. And it shows she has this huge disconnect between her families, and the closest people that she has are her parents, and then the people are her so-called best friend named Jamie. White kid, very popular, very rich. Family's old white rich. Old white rich, I guess. And so there's that. I don't really know what his family does, but they're just old money white rich. That's it. And so that's Jamaica, and she's very white centered, and you will see that throughout the book with people who she dates, who she's interested in, what she does for herself, how she wears her clothes, how she wears her hair. She straightens her hair every day. There's even a point in the book where the power in her house goes out and she's uncomfortable with the fact that she would have to wear her hair out to school, which is of course a thing. Every Black person has gone through having to wear their hair out around white people. I didn't have a choice but to get over that shit. I used to get relaxers as a kid. My hair started falling out really bad, so we had to start going extra natural, and so I've not relaxed my hair since I was in elementary school, middle school maybe. I'm trying to think. Middle school, no. Yeah, middle school. I'm gonna say middle school. No, I'm gonna say elementary school. I haven't had a relaxer in my head since fucking elementary school. Because I'm trying to think of middle school, but I only spent one middle school year here in Albany, Georgia, one in Albany, Georgia specifically, before we moved to Atlanta. But already then I had already had my hair chopped short because my hair started falling out and I started having allergic reactions to the chemicals in relaxer. So I understand that she has not gotten to this point in her life yet, and she hasn't had any interest yet to like put out her hair. So she currently straightens her hair. She wears Jimmy Choo shoes all day. The person that I can compare her to the most is A from Pretty Little Liars. Not super crazy, not think super bad, but she kind of reminds me of A, and as someone who watched Pretty Little Liars and quite enjoyed it, yeah, she reminds me of A. But she is really not the best character. I don't like her. I don't enjoy her character. She is very obsessed with being the head of the school, which is very obvious, of course, like that. Your obsession with being the best, proving to the white people that you can be better than them. Of course, it's a thing that Black people go through, is like the idea of you can't be equal with them, you have to be better than them kind of section of thought. But it's just in this weird way where she's just so rude and disrespectful to most people. I can't really get behind caring about her opinions and things like that. Like, she's rude to this one person who they bring her a coffee and she can't even remember their name, kind of thing. You know, like, she's rude, she's underhanded to the people that she calls her friends. She likes Jamie for the fact that he could bring her up in the world, so on and so forth. She thinks it's love, it's not. She's bisexual in the book. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know, both of your main characters are queer. I can appreciate that. I can, as a queer person, I can appreciate that you have one bisexual female and a gay man. Love that for you. Love the queer characters. Still doesn't shake the fact that still don't fucking like the fucking book. But you have her, and she's a very interesting character. She's fucking rude. She's rude to Devon the entire book. They're supposed to be banding together. She's a horrible person the entire time. So there's no, again, one of the main things that I really pissed me off about this book was that there is no black community, and she does not make it any better. She literally does not make it any better. She doesn't even like interact with her mom that much in the book. Her mom tries to cook for her, and she's like, you'll know. Like, it's just, I hate her. I like Devon more, mostly because I'm more similar to Devon. He is our main black character. He's gay. He is, he's currently lives with just his mother, and then he has 2 younger brothers. He has a dad, but his dad is currently in prison, and he doesn't know why. He never learned why his dad is in prison. His dad is in prison, and also that he has a boyfriend named TJ, and his boyfriend sells drugs, and so does he. So they're both drug dealers. That's something that the ACEs person kind of like releases about them. And then you have his next romantic partner that we get to at the end of the book. His name is Terrell. And so you have Devon, who he's had 2 black boyfriends and then 1 white boyfriend who was abusive towards him. And then you have Jamaica with all of her Caucasian lovers. And it's a questionable, they both have such a questionable relationship with themselves and their blackness that it's kind of concerning throughout the entire book. But Devon specifically goes to school because he's on the quieter side, where you have Jamaica, who she's so very out, so very in your face, so very at the top, so very inserted in the entire book. Like, she tries to make herself the face of this academy. That on the other end you have Devon, who's just trying to get there and get by. He wants to go to Juilliard for music, trying to go to Harvard to be a doctor like her parents, but overall it's just kind of questionable. As for the actual things in this book that really pissed me off about like the actual school, I think I mentioned earlier that this school is set in like the middle of the ghetto and the rich area of this questionable wherever we are city. And so Nibis is such an interesting thing because they're trying to commit social eugenics really hard with only admitting 2 black people every 10 years. Odd. They're supposed to have been open since 1717, and they have this secret society called Ace of Spades, and supposedly there are academies all over the city, that all over the country, that still do this social eugenics thing. Again, I think that they question of whether they question how many white people outnumber the black people of America, and it's so interesting. I know there are white people who are absolutely horrible, hate black people. We've all had some type of racism. I've had several racist specific teachers, like teachers who will act like how they are in this book. The main premise of this book is they try and fail these students on purpose because they hate them because of their blackness. As someone who suffered from that, it does happen. I'm not gonna lie to your face. I've had that happen to me like, what, 2 times now? And it's so fucking annoying. It's one of the worst things to ever experience is when a teacher specifically tries to ruin your schooling simply because you're black. It is an uncomfortable situation, and it is something that is so painful to go through because you, in other classes, in any other space, you are a good student, but you have someone who is preying on your downfall, and so they do things deliberately to ruin your schooling, to bring down your grades. The first time I ever got a C, I was in middle school because in elementary school, because my 5th grade teacher, no, my 3rd grade teacher, not my 5th grade teacher, 5th grade and my 4th and 5th grade teachers were awesome people. Black, they cared. White, Caucasian teacher who, weirdly enough, couldn't fucking stand me specifically. And you're probably like, she probably wasn't like, no, it was me specifically. At the beginning of the school year, I was one of her highest students in class, to the point where I was admitted to the gifted program. I was the only student in her class that was admitted to the gifted program. And up until a certain point, everything was fine until we came back from like the winter semester. Up until this point, I've got A's and B's. I've always had A's and B's. I've gotten very few C's in life, but A's and B's. First ever C I got was in 3rd grade. She would take the time, because at the time I had gifted program. Gifted program would leave the school on Thursdays all day to go to a different school to do extra schooling and have a little bit more of a fun time. And she would start a new, she switched up her plan for like classes, her academic plan, to start a new section on Thursdays and give out homework on Thursdays, to the point where I was failing homework and quizzes because I didn't know what we were doing in class. She would take that time to just go in and just have, the first thing she do is just be like, okay, this is what we're doing today, and we're going to start a whole new thing. Do the homework. I try and attempt the homework, fail the homework because I don't know what we're doing, don't understand, and then I try and catch up with the rest of the class the rest of the week, and it was just horrible. My mom ended up having to come to the school because it was like, what the fuck is going on? How do you have C's? You've been in the gifted program up until this point. You've been fine. This is nothing. I've been in the gifted program since I was in, first grade or 2nd grade. I can't remember, because I started it at a different school, brought it over to this school, and then I didn't have a gifted program ever again, because it was just like one of those moments of like, we tried to readmit me when I got into middle school, because it was supposed to be one of the things that I did, but like, it was just an annoying moment. But yeah, I've had that, and I had an art teacher that would deliberately lose my projects. Like, I would do them, like my mom would take pictures of me doing my art projects at home, and then I would get to school, turn them in, and they would go missing. And I'm not the only person that had a problem with her in that class. So I ended up learning that like 6 students had a problem with her in that class. That's particular art teacher who would just absolutely attack any student of color. I've also had her look me in the eye, because she deliberately asked me this question. She's like, oh, what are your plans for schooling? And I'm like, oh, fashion design or architecture. You know, I don't think you'd be cut out for those things. It's fashion design and architecture. The fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say that to a student when you ask them that question, only to ruin their fucking day? Keep in mind, I was already taking a construction class, and I had been for 4 years, and I was passing with very high grades. And that was my choice. That's why I chose architecture, is because I was already passing that class. Because it was recommended to me by the teacher who taught that class. Because he's like, oh, you're doing so great in my class, you would do perfectly in architecture. I will even give you a reference. And I'm just taking her sculpture art class. Anyways, back on topic. But literally they go out of their way to fail these students. Like, I want to tell you that this is supposed to be like this Ace of Spades secret society, and so all the students are aces, are the secret person aces, and literally I'm gonna read this to you because I was like, that's crazy. Who sat there and thought of this? She did. She sat there and she thought of this, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? But they have a set of school values. I'm gonna read you their school values, okay? Nobility, integrity, generosity, grace, excellence, respectfulness, determination, idealism, and eloquence. Those are the school values. And if you line them up in the order that I just said them, they spell out nigger die. They spell out nigger die. That right there made me stop what I was reading. And I really did almost DNF this book at that exact moment. I was like, I sat there for an hour contemplating whether or not I wanted to continue this book. But look at me, I finished it. I'm so proud of myself. I made it through this motherfucking book. I fucking did it. You motherfuckers better be proud of me. Because I sat there and I was like, because you really do sit there, because you're reading this book and you already understand that, oh, this is targeting them to black people on their blackness, and it's meant to make black people uncomfortable, again, as an American, I just can't. As an American, I went to several different schools with a questionable amount of color and has been through school-based, school and academic-based racism as a Black person. This book is insulting to my psyche. Okay? Very insulting to my psyche, okay? I can't. I hated this book so much. It's just so much absolute ridiculousness. And again, it's supposed to be set in the real world. Like, if you were to set this in like a fantasy world, I could even more get behind you on this. But this is supposed to be set in the real world. This is missing so much culture, so much knowledge. It's just insulting overall, and I can't stand this book. It also dragged the fuck on. Oh my god. This book is this fucking thick. And it has over 400 pages. 400 pages and 45 chapters. And some of these chapters, I am a person who does not like a short chapter. Don't give me a short chapter, motherfucker. Please don't give me a motherfucking short chapter. That's so fucking annoying. I hate a short chapter. Like, the chapters will go from this is one chapter. I can't. There's so much of this book I can't stand. It's just... And also, I would also like to quickly say that as a Black person, you know you have Black person intuition. I would also like to say that most Black people are not fans of white people like that. And so you have Black people intuition that kind of makes you, Well, that made me twitch. I don't like that. It makes you go, that feels odd. That feels weird. There are so many points in this book where you sit there and you go, And Chi is so trusting of Caucasian people that is questionable. Devon, on the other hand, has Black common sense. This book is missing a large amount of Black common sense. I can't stand it. I don't recommend it. But if you want to read it and you want to give me your feedback on if you've read it or not, I recommend you do so, because I want to see how you feel about this book, because there's just so much in the book that I just absolutely despise. Like, I'm sitting here confused the entire time, because, like, what do you mean? Why the fuck was somebody, like, where do you pull this out of your ass? Keep in mind, this only happens over a course of, like, maybe 2-3 months. This entire book, 2 or 3 months. Like, it's supposed to be the winter ball. We don't even make it Christmas. I don't even think we make it to Thanksgiving. Or if we did, we just skip over Thanksgiving. They don't ever go on a school break. I think this book literally goes over the course of maybe 2 or 3 months. Not even 3 months. It may just go over the course of 2 months. I'm so confused by this book. And again, I said you could really blame it on the fact that this is a debut novel. But again, my mother owns another one of her books, and she said that it was the exact same premise. Very few Black people in a white-centered area giving, I know what you did last summer. Next motherfucking time, set this shit in fucking the UK. I'm more likely to believe that this is taking place in the UK, because I've never been to the UK, never taken school in the UK. I don't know. This could be exactly what the UK is like. I have no fucking idea. But as a nigga who lived in America, has met several Black people who have been to different schools, have had different experiences. Impossible. No. First-hand experience, no. And do white people hate Black people? Absolutely. I hate a white person now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd be sitting there and be like, I'm not anywhere near a white person. It's so nice. Like, when I tell you, I was so happy when I moved into this particular apartment building. In my particular apartment, I only moved here specifically because the school is right there. I only took one class today, and literally It's a 10-minute walk. 10 minutes. My old apartment, it's like a 20-minute walk to get to one class, and I'd be walking across the campus all day. I lost so much weight doing all day walking, and so I chose to be very close to this school. And when I tell you, I regret it because I'm surrounded by Caucasian people and it pisses me off. They are part of the reason why I had a breakdown last night. Caucasian people and their whiteness pissed me off so bad that I hated it here. I was getting ready to pick up my phone and look for a new apartment so fast. So fast. But I made it. I'm alive. I'm here and I'm ready to quit already. Okay? But I just deeply despise Caucasian people. I'm not gonna lie. Shouts to my white friends that I do have. White people piss me off on a regular basis. I'm more likely to be friends with people of color than I am white people. So, can I get behind a hating white person? Absolutely. But this white person, this white boogeyman in the closet type shit. Also, there's not a single white person in my current suite, my apartment suite. She's black. She's Indian. She's Latino. Like, I can stand a white person down. But here I am, sticking up for the Caucasians in the United States because I've met some really lit white people. But again, where the fuck is this? Why did you think of this? And why did you set it in America? And again, it's supposed to be a critique on white people in their slave ownings. Again, I think she thinks that more white people were slave owners than there were, and that a lot of them were able to keep their wealth. I want to reiterate, white people are stupid as fuck. They will lose money over anything. White people will lose money over fucking anything. Also, you don't know very much about the black people with money across America, specifically because they're a lot quieter. The black people with money that are loud with their money end up losing their money very quickly because they're a little on the slow side. Because I'm like, you think big, but you just don't think to yourself. You think out loud, and it's very concerning that you do that. But hey, if you like Ace of Spades, leave it down below. What's your review of the book? If you want to go read it, go for it. I just won't be doing this shit again. But I am excited about the next book that I am reading. I've already picked my next book. So I'll probably start reading it next month. I'm going to return this to my mother so she can have this demon text in her home. I feel like it's part of the reason why I've really been losing my mind this semester. But say hello to our February read. If you want to read this book with me, go for it. I'm not going to knock you. This is another British black author, but I like her books way more. If you don't know, I've already read one of her books. This is Talia Hibbert's Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. This is a young adult novel, and I've already actually started it, and I just put it on the back burner, and so I'm going to finish it this month. I'm very excited. It's pretty and it's pink, so it's giving very much Valentine's. Speaking of Valentine's, I do need to decorate for Valentine's Day. I'm trying to see what. We'll see, because I want to do a little bit of decor for the Valentine's, but I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. So we'll figure it out. But this is going to be our February read. So if you want to read it with me, you completely can. I'm very excited, because again, black female character, black love interest. Loved it. And I've already talked about what I read last month, but I'll show it to you too. Which is The Holidates. The Holidates was last month's read. I really loved this book. Really cute, really sweet. Quite enjoyed it. So next month's read, this month's finished read, last month's read. So I'm gonna return this to my mother so she can suffer for me. If you guys enjoyed this video, thank you guys so much for watching. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't really care. If you're going to be reading Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute with me, let me know. Follow me on all of my social media. I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any other books that you want to recommend me, go ahead and recommend them to me. I probably won't be reading. I probably won't be picking out many books to read until February, March, April, May. Probably not till June, because I have like 4 books that I'm already reading, that I already have waiting to be read, but this is just the one that I'm reading for next month, and I want to read through all my books before I buy any more books anytime soon. So this is the new book of the month. I think I already know what I'm going to be reading for the next few months, but I felt like we needed something overtly romantic and super duper cutesy for the month of February. If you want, I'm going to link the other videos that I've done about my readings and like the books that I read down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya. Bye.